Welcome to another Xamarin Forms tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll be creating a basic compass application using Xamarin Forms and the MVVM pattern. The application will run both on Android and iOS. So we're just going to go ahead and open up Visual Studio and create our Xamarin Forms cross-platform project. I'm going to name the project Compass Tutorial, and I'm going to create that. And I'm just going to set it to a blank template and make sure Android and iOS is enabled. So once that's loaded, you can see we've got our base project. So I'm currently running Xamarin Forms 4.2 and Xamarin Essentials 1.2. So we just go into the main page. We can see we've got our standard blank page with a label and a stack layout. So I'm just going to go ahead and edit some of the properties of this label. I'm going to add a text color to set it to black. I'm also going to change the font size of the label. I'm going to set it to the title property. And we are going to bind this label to our view model property called compass value. And this property is going to update every time the compass reading changes. So now that we've created our empty UI, we need to go and create the view model behind it and our compass class, so we can render it on screen every time the compass updates. So we're just going to go ahead and add our new item. It's going to be a blank class, and we are going to call it our compass view model. So our view model is going to inherit from the iNotify property change interface. So first we need to add the using system.component model. Now we can go ahead and inherit the class. So we're just going to right click and implement the interface, and this will just add our property changed event. So we're now going to go and implement the onPropertyChanged function, and we'll be calling this when we want to raise the property changed event, so we can tell the view that the value that we are binding to has been updated. So in our case, it'll be the compass value. So every time we want to tell a view that the compass value is updated, we'll call it onPropertyChanged function, and that will raise the event. So now we're going to go ahead and implement the actual compass value. So this is the property that's going to be bound to the UI label. So we're going to create the local private string first, and then we will create the public compass value that we will be binding to in the view. So we're declaring this as a string at the moment, so we can format the value later on down the line how we like. So we're going to now go ahead and create another class called myCompass, and this is going to house all the logic and implementation of the actual compass. So first we're just going to create our base constructor. Just going to make it public myCompass. So we're just going to go ahead and declare the Xamarin Essentials using statement. This will allow us to have access to the compass property from the package. So we're going to go ahead and create a function called start, and we're going to call that in the constructor. We're going to change its level from private to public. So inside here we're just going to declare a try catch, and inside the try we're going to call the Xamarin Essentials compass and the start function, and inside we just want to pass the update speed, so we're going to set it to centerspeed.ui. Then we're going to create a catch, and we are going to pass the feature not supported exception. And we're just going to create a console.writeLine, and we're going to spit out into the debug the message of the exception. And then under that we're just going to create a generic catch. And we're just going to do the same with this exception and do another console.writeLine and print the message out for this. So we need to register to the compass.readingChanged event, and this is called every time the value of the compass on the device is updated. So to get the value of our compass back into our view model, we need to create our own event handler. And we're going to pass this through as a string, and we're going to call this getCompassValue. So we want to invoke that event in the compass_readingChanged handler. And then we just want to pass through the compass value and then convert that to a string. So we need to hook all that logic we've just created into our view. So we're going to declare our custom view model, and we're going to set the binding context of the view to the custom view model. So back on our compass view model, we just need to create another public function called startCompass. And then inside here, we're just going to make an instance of our myCompass class. And then we're just going to register to our getCompassValue event. So inside the handler, we're just going to make the compass value equal to the string that we pass through. So every time the compass value changes, this event's going to be called, and the compass value will update, and that will update the UI for the onPropertyChanged. So back in the main page.cs, we just need to call the startCompass function. Now I'm about to build this on Android. Depending on your device, it may work or it may not. So I'm currently using a Motorola, and the compass isn't supported on that device. So we'll see that when it tries to run now, it's going to fall into the feature not supported exception. And then we can just see in the console log here that the method isn't supported. So I've just pulled the code down onto my Mac, and I'm about to build it on my iPhone. So we can see here that the compass is supported on the iPhone, and as I tilt the device, the compass value is updating. So the format of that values coming through isn't the best, so there's a few things we can do to just tidy it up and make it look a bit more user friendly. So I'm just about to paste in a function called calculateDirection that takes in the parameter of the compass value in degrees. So you may just want to pause it here and copy it, and this just returns a string to tell us what direction we're currently in, so north, northeast, south, etc. So we're just going to do some tidying up in our compass_readingChanged event. Instead of directly passing in the value, we want to create a variable called value. Then we just want to equal that to the heading. I'm just going to create a string called value formatted. This is where we're going to tidy up our volume. So we're just going to use 3 values in our string format. So the first, we're just going to put in the value and round that up to no decimal places in the string. And then we're going to call the calculate direction function, and we're just going to pass in the value. And then finally, we're just going to add in the degree sign. So now we need to just pass that value formatted back into the event. So if you go ahead and build and run this now, you'll see that the compass value is a bit more user friendly. So we've rounded up the value to no decimal places, we've added in the current direction that we're in, and then we've just added the degree sign in as well. So I'm just going to switch to the iOS compass application, and we can see that our compass and the iOS app compass values match up and the direction is the same. So I hope this tutorial has helped you. If you could like the video and subscribe to the channel, then I would be very grateful. And if you have any issues with the tutorial, if you leave a comment on the video, I will try and help as best I can.